Hello and welcome to a new episode of HKEXVoice, our podcast featuring insights from HKEX executives and industry leaders on topics relevant to Hong Kong's financial markets. I'm your host, Jeffrey Young. As the world makes a renewed commitment to climate action and moves towards a low-carbon economy, the role of financial markets is becoming increasingly important in financing this transition and turning climate goals into tangible results. HKEX has recently launched a number of new sustainable initiatives to move the climate agenda forward. So today we are very delighted to have with us Grace Hui, HKEX Head of Green and Sustainable Finance, to talk about the trend of sustainable finance in Hong Kong, in Asia, and how HKEX supports companies and investors in their sustainability journey. Welcome to our podcast, Grace.
Thank you, Jeffrey.
Let me start off with this first question. What are the key challenges and opportunities for Asia in transitioning to a low-carbon, sustainable economy?
There are a number of challenges, but the key ones are clearly, Asia is the world's most populous region with 4.7 billion citizens, and its share of global greenhouse gas emissions has grown to 45% in 30 years. Asia is highly exposed to water risks. Climate change is only going to accelerate and accentuate the impacts. So in terms of opportunities, there are also many. When you look at it, Asia's three biggest economies, China, Japan, and India, have all pledged carbon neutrality. Our Hong Kong government has also announced it will strive to achieve carbon neutrality by 2050. But how are you going to achieve that? To decarbonize, the financial sector, including stock exchanges, have a crucial role to play. The development blueprint of the Greater Bay Area has presented Hong Kong with a golden opportunity. We have been designated as the Green Finance Center in the Greater Bay Area. We have also seen demand from investors in terms of green and sustainable investment products. The recent issuance by the Hong Kong government of their $3 billion green bonds have also seen strong interest from a diverse group of conventional and green investors. As a result, we think that these sustainable and green investment products will keep growing.
Well, that's a very, very strong momentum that we're seeing, Grace. So capital markets play a key role in facilitating the low-carbon economy transition. How would you describe HKEX's role in the green finance development in Asia? And as you mentioned earlier, specifically in China, the Greater Bay Area.
As an exchange operator, we facilitate a vibrant, sustainable finance ecosystem through partnerships as well as education, and to fund the transition into a more sustainable, low-carbon future. HKEX invested in a 7% stake in the newly established Guangzhou Futures Exchange to grow the green and low-carbon markets. We have also signed an MOU with Guangzhou Futures Exchange to explore the feasibility of cooperation on product development and to drive the low-carbon markets. Hong Kong's government and financial regulators, including HKEX, have established a green and sustainable finance cross-agency steering group to accelerate the growth of sustainable finance in Hong Kong and the Greater Bay Area. The SFC and HKEX are leading a feasibility study of developing Hong Kong as a regional carbon trading center to strengthen collaboration in the Greater Bay Area, including exploring opportunities presented by both the compliance carbon market and the voluntary carbon market in China and overseas. As a responsible corporate, HKEX recently joined the Glasgow Financial Alliance for Net Zero and the Net Zero Financial Service Providers Alliance to support the global efforts to meet the climate change goals.
Well, there's a lot going on, certainly, Grace. But in terms of supporting companies and investors in their sustainability journey, can you share a bit more about what HKEX has been doing in terms of our latest initiatives?
Sure, Jeffrey. Maybe I'll just give you an update of STAGE, which stands for Sustainable and Green Exchange. Last December, we launched STAGE. It is Asia's first multi-asset sustainable investment product platform, providing investors with more information and transparency on a wide range of sustainable investment products. At the heart of STAGE is an online product repository which already covers more than 80 green, social, or sustainability-related investment products, including bonds and ETPs. we recently introduced a new equity session under that product repository, displaying ESG ratings of Hong Kong-listed companies. This initiative will help provide a consolidated view of ESG ratings from different providers, enabling investors to compare companies across sectors and sources when making their investment decisions. This feature will support companies on their sustainability journeys and generate greater levels of awareness for retail investors on ESG. I believe that this stage product repository has been very helpful in attracting green listings to our exchange. At the end of last year, 2020, we had 18 ESG-related bonds listed on the exchange, raising around 66 billion Hong Kong dollars. As of the end of November, we already have 91 green or ESG-related bonds listed on our market, raising 270 billion Hong Kong dollars. This is a great result. But I also want to share with you an even more important initiative in terms of climate change. We just published a net zero guide. This is to support companies to develop a pathway to net zero. The guide will help companies identify resources required to calculate and establish a carbon emission baseline, setting near and long-term carbon emission reduction targets, identifying emission reduction potential, etc.
Wow, Grace, that's a lot of great news we're hearing. And for all of you, if you have not visited our Stage online repository, we strongly recommend that you do so after listening to our podcast. So Grace, HKEX will soon host the inaugural Green Asia Summit on 9th December. What is the theme and the key focus of this conference?
Thank you, Jeffrey. I'm very pleased with the inaugural Green Asia Summit. We want Hong Kong to be the place for green and sustainable finance. So launching a Green Asia Summit, getting all the relevant parties together is very important. Our theme this year is Path to Net Zero. We have a great lineup of speakers, including CEOs, policymakers, and sustainability experts from across the globe and in Asia, to share their insights on the role of capital markets in supporting the transition to a low-carbon economy. Participants can also learn more about the opportunities presented in the fast-changing technology and regulatory landscape and how they can drive climate agenda forward.
Wow, we'll look forward to the Green Asia Summit on 9th December. Grace, thank you so much for joining us today. It's been a pleasure to learn more about how HKEX is facilitating the growth of a vibrant, sustainable finance ecosystem in Asia. Thanks again, Grace.
Thank you for having me, Jeffrey.
For all our new listeners, if you want to learn more about HKEX's sustainable initiatives, please visit our website at hkex.com.hk. From all of us here at HKEX Voice, thank you for listening, and keep an ear out for our next episode. So long.